Now, the part that no one in this field says out loud, at least not that I've heard, and the part that I think earns your trust more than anything else I can offer you, sometimes the answer to your question is yes, straight from the book. You may find the answer is sometimes yes. Sometimes entries will score as misses. Some threads will die in their windows. Sit with that for a moment. I'm the author of this method, the spatial sight method, and I'm telling you on day 8 that some of what you produce at that table will be invention. Not might be, will be. Why would I tell you that? Why would I hand you, at your most doubtful moment, the very concession you're afraid of? Because it's true. And because a method that could not produce a miss would be a fraud. Think it through. If every impression you ever recorded turned out to be right, if the method never generated a false reading, if no thread ever died, if no entry ever scored a miss, what would you actually be holding? You would be holding an instrument that said yes to everything. And you already know from day 4 and from day 7 exactly what that is worth. An instrument that always reads positive is broken. A filter that never rejects is a funnel. The misses are not the price of this method. They are the proof that it is measuring something. They are the evidence that your record is tracking the world rather than your preferences, because a record that tracked your preferences would never have disappointed you. So the honest answer to, am I making this up, is not no. The answer is sometimes yes, sometimes no. And here's the apparatus that tells you which is which, entry by entry, in your own handwriting. One line to carry with you for the rest of this course. Write it somewhere you will see it. A practitioner who has never logged a miss has never really logged anything. I want to make that operational because it is not a consoling proverb. It is a diagnostic you can run on your own notebook. Open your log, look at your entries so far, and ask a genuinely uncomfortable question. Is there anything in here that went wrong? Anything that did not resolve? Anything you got plainly, embarrassingly incorrect? If the answer is no, if every entry is either vague enough to be unfalsifiable or was quietly adjusted after the fact to look better, then you do not have a record. You have a portrait, a flattering one, painted slowly by you, of you. And here is the thing about a portrait. It cannot tell you anything you did not already want to hear. That is what makes it useless. And that is what makes it dangerous, because it will feel exactly like evidence. It will accumulate. It will get thicker over 30 days. And at the end, you will have a substantial document that proves nothing whatsoever, and you will trust it. And there will be no way for you to find out that you should not. So from today, a miss in your log is not an embarrassment. It is a receipt. It is proof that on that day, the instrument was pointed at the world rather than at the mirror. Log your misses. They are the most valuable entries you will make. So practically, what do you do with the question starting today? You keep it at the table permanently. It does not get resolved and then discarded. It sits beside you for the next 22 days and for every year of practice after that, and its presence is a feature of your work rather than a flaw in it. But there are 2 ways to mishandle it, and they sit on opposite sides of the road. The first is to silence it, to decide that the doubt is an obstacle, that it is blocking your intuition, that a real practitioner would have moved past it, that you need to believe harder or quiet the analytical mind. Do not do this. The doubt is not blocking your perception. It is auditing it. Silence the auditor, and you will not become a better reader. You will simply become a reader who can no longer tell when they are wrong. The second failure is the opposite, and it is the one that will tempt you tonight. It is to let the question stop you, to decide that until you have settled whether any of this is real, there's no point in continuing. So you close the notebook and you tell yourself you will come back when you feel more certain. That road ends nowhere, and I want you to see why with total clarity. The certainty you're waiting for can only be manufactured by the records you are declining to make. An experiment you refuse to run does not come back inconclusive. It comes back with nothing at all. If you stop now, you will not have resolved your doubt. You will have made it permanent, and you will have done it in the name of rigor. Doubt is a reason to record more carefully. It is never a reason to stop recording. So today, same table, same 5 steps, same lens, distance and cluster. And now you know what the map freeze is for. You know what the disconfirmation line is for. You are not performing a ritual whose purpose is obscure to you. You are running an experiment, and today, for the first time, you know exactly what it is testing. Let me close by returning to the sentence you've heard me say at the end of every session this week. You've probably been hearing it as a slogan. Today, you can hear what it actually means. You are not asked to believe. You are asked to record. That is not a demand for obedience. It is a release. It means the burden you have been carrying, the burden of deciding whether this is real, of having to be sure before you are allowed to proceed, was never yours to carry. Nobody is asking you to be convinced. Belief is not the entry fee, and it's not the goal. And it is not required of you at any point in these 30 days, or in my entire spatial site system. You are asked to do something much smaller and much harder. Write down what happened before you know what it means, in a form that can later prove you wrong. And then the book adds one more clause, which I have saved for today, because today is when it can land. The belief, if it comes, will have earned its place. If on day 30 you find you trust something about this, that trust will not have come from me. It will not have come from a teacher's confidence, or a persuasive argument, or a good week. It would have come from 30 days of your own honest records, including the failures scored strictly by you. That is the only kind of belief worth having. It is also the only kind I am able to offer you because it is not mine to give. You have to make it. Tomorrow, we go back to the field for the third and last of the spatial signals, the void, the shape of an absence. I will see you on day 9.